Today, we will dive together into the fantastic world of The Little Prince. Lean back, close your eyes, and let yourself be enchanted by the calm narration of this wonderful story. The Little Prince is not just a tale, but a journey into the depths of our hearts. While we listen to the story, I invite you to let go of your thoughts and allow the gentle words and sounds to lead you into a state of relaxation and tranquility. This story is meant to remind us that true treasures are often invisible and that the really important things in life are seen with the heart. As you embark on this mysterious journey, let the wisdom and the simple yet profound messages of The Little Prince accompany and soothe you. Enjoy this journey and remember, one sees clearly only with the heart. What is essential is invisible to the eye. The Little Prince, based on a story by Antoine de Saint-Exupéry. Chapter 1: The Artistic Abilities of a Child. When I was 6 years old, I came across an impressive picture in a book about the jungle titled True Stories. It showed a giant snake swallowing a large animal. Fascinated by this image, I made a copy of it. The book also stated that boars swallow their prey whole without chewing. After eating, they are unable to move and sleep for 6 months to digest their food. These jungle events intrigued me greatly. With a colored pencil, I created my first drawing. It looked like a hat, but it wasn't. I showed my drawing to the adults and asked them if the picture scared them. The adults replied, asking why they should be afraid of a hat. As I mentioned before, my drawing did not depict a hat. It was a giant snake digesting an elephant, so I drew the inside of the snake to make it clearer for the adults, as they always need explanations. My second drawing showed the snake with an elephant inside, noticeable by a large bulge in the snake's belly. The adults advised me to give up drawing and focus on geography, history, mathematics, and grammar instead. Thus, I abandoned my promising career as a painter at the age of 6. The failure of my 2 drawings of the snake had completely crushed my spirit. Adults never understand anything on their own. For children, it is too tiresome to keep explaining things to them, so I had to choose another profession and learned to fly airplanes. I traveled all over the world. Geography proved to be very useful. At a glance, I can now distinguish China from Arizona, which is especially helpful when one gets lost at night. In my life, I met many significant people. I lived among them and observed them closely. But my opinion of them did not change. Whenever I met someone who seemed intelligent, I showed them my drawing number 1, which I had kept. I wanted to know if they understood it. But everyone replied, "That is a hat." Then I knew that I could not talk to these people about boars or the jungle. So I adapted. With them, I spoke about card games, golf, politics, and neckties. The adults were very pleased to have met someone so sensible. Chapter 2: The Little Prince Appears. So it happened that I lived alone, with no one to truly talk to, until I had an accident in the Sahara Desert 6 years ago. Something broke in my engine. Since I had neither a mechanic nor passengers with me, I had to undertake the difficult repair all by myself. It was a matter of life and death, as my drinking water would only last for 8 days. 1,000 miles from any inhabited region, I slept on the sand the first night. I felt lonelier than a shipwrecked sailor on a raft in the middle of the ocean. Imagine my surprise when, at sunrise, a small strange voice woke me. It said, "Please, draw me a sheep." What? Draw me a sheep? I jumped to my feet as if I had been struck by lightning. I rubbed my eyes and looked around, and I saw a most extraordinary small boy who was seriously examining me. This is the best portrait I later managed to make of him. But my drawing is certainly less charming than the original, as I had given up my career as a painter when I was 6, having been discouraged by the lack of success with my drawing of a boa constrictor. I stared at this apparition with wide eyes. Remember, I was 1,000 miles from any inhabited area, yet this little boy seemed neither lost nor exhausted, hungry, thirsty, or scared. He didn't look like a child who had gotten lost in the middle of the desert. When I finally managed to speak, I asked him, "But what are you doing here?" And then he repeated very slowly, as if it were a matter of great consequence, "Please, draw me a sheep." When something is a mystery, one cannot resist. Absurd as it seemed, being in mortal danger 1,000 miles from any human habitation, I took a sheet of paper and a pen out of my pocket. Then I remembered that I had only studied geography, history, mathematics, and grammar. So I told the little fellow, a bit irritably, that I did not know how to draw. He replied, "That doesn't matter. Draw me a sheep." Since I had never drawn a sheep, I made him one of the only 2 drawings I could manage. It was of a boa constrictor from the outside, and I was astounded to hear the little fellow exclaim, "No, no, I don't want an elephant inside a boa constrictor. A boa constrictor is very dangerous, and an elephant is very cumbersome. Where I live, everything is very small. What I need is a sheep. Draw me a sheep." So then I made a drawing. He looked at it carefully, then said, "No, this sheep is already very sickly. Make me another." So I made another drawing. My friend smiled gently and indulgently. "You see yourself," he said, "that this is not a sheep. This is a ram. It has horns." So then I did my drawing over once more, but it was rejected too, just like the others. "This one is too old. I want a sheep that will live a long time." By this time, my patience was exhausted because I was in a hurry to start taking my engine apart. So I scribbled this drawing and I threw out an explanation with it. "This is only his box. The sheep you asked for is inside." I was very surprised to see a light break over the face of my young judge. That is exactly the way I wanted it. Do you think that this sheep will have to have a great deal of grass? Why? Because where I live, everything is very small. There will surely be enough grass for him, I said. It is a very small sheep that I have given you. He bent his head over the drawing, not so small that, look, he has gone to sleep. And that is how I made the acquaintance of the little prince.